Right now on Eyewitness News at noon, ready for prime time. What can we expect to see when the community investigates the riot at the Capitol holds its first hearing later tonight? And cleaning up in Camden County as a tornado was touched down early this morning. Good Thursday afternoon to everyone. I'm Pirate William. It's June 9th, 2022. This is our noon broadcast, now streaming live on CBS News Philly. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, Aunt Janelle and Uncle James have left me in charge. We have live team coverage of the storm damage, as we get the latest from Brandon Goldner and my sister, Larissa Abreu. But we begin with Brandon first on hand. Good afternoon to you, young man. Take it away with your report.
In that she did not hear the storm coming through, but thankfully no one was injured. Police say they have not gotten any reports of injuries. We spoke to other neighbors who say much of their damage was really concentrated to objects and sheds that are out on their yards. One woman we spoke to, Marcy Shaney, says the storm had a very distinct sound.
The only thing I can say is it kind of sounded like a freight train coming through. The wind howled, I've never heard it like that before. And we jumped up and came downstairs, and you could see things flying around out the window. And when it started to calm a little bit, then we came out.
And multiple cleanup crews are out here right now assessing the damage and trying to get trees out of the roads and out of people's homes. The National Weather Service says in their determination, trying to figure out whether this was a tornado, they will be sending a crew here this afternoon and should put out a statement earlier this evening. Live in Blackwood, Brady.
All right, we'll see what happens next. Thank you, Brandon. And now let's go to my sister, meteorologist Larissa Abreu. Go ahead, Larissa. Take it away.
All of those have since expired, but now we do have a possible tornado to talk about. And this happened earlier this morning at 5 a.m. Radar picked up a brief spin up where near Blackwood in Camden County, and as Brandon just told you, the National Weather Service will be investigating this later today, and of course Chief Meteorologist Kate Bilo will have more later on in the news. The rainfall was quite intense. In fact, we picked up significant rain out of this, which is no wonder why parts of the region did have a flash flood warning. As I mentioned, that warning expired, but left behind are these impressive totals in Hamden. They picked up almost 2.5 inches. Take a look at PHL right here in the city. The airport picked up almost 2 inches, and in Medford, almost 2 inches were picked up as well. Now we're looking at drier conditions. That system long gone. It's to our north and east. A few high clouds left behind, but we're doing so much better compared to just a few hours ago. Big puffy clouds and sunshine. Not too bad. Temperatures are sitting in the 80s. Winds are quite gusty, and that's going to be the highlight, or that's going to be probably the biggest story as we continue throughout the afternoon hours. I'll have more on that when I see you guys now.
All right. Thank you, Larissa. We'll check back with you in a little bit. Speaking of the rain from last night, Pat Cole's Ashland Station starts to reopen after a flooding happened. As you can see in the picture, it was disrupted this morning, and the station was closed for several hours as crews worked to clean it up. You can get live up-to-the-minute forecasts and streamed updates whenever you like on CBS News Philly or CBSPhilly.com, your choice. Development right now. Philadelphia Police Commissioner Daniel Outlaw says there are at least 2 arrest warrants in last weekend's shooting that happened on South Street. My auntie, Waukesha Bailey, has the latest on the investigations, then concerns from residents. Take it away with your report there, Auntie Waukesha. I'll be watching.
Hundreds of Queens Village residents regarding last Saturday's mass shooting.
Gotta find a suspect who had a gun. That's why we had to make sure we gotta track that person down.
Overnight, police released new images of a second person of interest they are looking for. The video was taken in a convenience store Saturday night. The person appears to be in his late teens. He is a slimmer and shorter build. He's wearing a black hoodie sweatshirt with red decals and a head covering. And earlier this week, police said they were looking for this man, a heavy-set man in his late teens with a bushy afro-like hair. He's also wearing a black hoodie with the same red decals. Meantime, residents fired up in outrage at what they are calling a weekend of mayhem.
We can't run away from the gunfire. We have to run to the gunfire.
Police promising a heavier presence come Friday night.
And we want to see horses, we want to see bikes, we want to see officers on foot people, right? Officers in patrol cars, we see special units out there.
And police say the reward is up to $30,000 for anyone with any information that could lead to an arrest. Now,
Thank you, Auntie Waukesha. Stay with Eyewitness News for the latest on the mass shooting. You can see the pictures when you get a chance. Just go to cbsphilly.com and CBS News Philly for details. And Philadelphia City Council Special Committee is hosting a emergency meeting this afternoon to discuss gun violence impacting the city. Kenyatta Johnson is hosting the meeting along with Daniel Outlaw. So that's pretty amazing when you think about it. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is passing a wide-ranging gun control bill in response to the recent mass shootings in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas. It will raise the age for a semi-automatic rifle from 18 years old to 21 years old. Wow. I cannot believe what I just said, but it's true. It's so true. And now to the latest on our top story. The House selects the investigation from January 6th's Capitol assault hearings will be held at the U.S. Capitol. You could tell it was coordinated and planned in order to overturn the presidential election. Me Uncle Skyler Henry has the details.
Proud Boys, as that group allegedly planned and executed the assault on the Capitol. The DOJ has already charged 5 leaders of the Proud Boys with seditious conspiracy for their alleged role in the attack on the Capitol. The committee will also hear from Capitol Police Officer Caroline Edwards. She was among the first officers injured in the attack, suffering a traumatic brain injury.
I just remember at one point thinking, my God, this is a war zone.
Tonight's hearing is the first in a series designed to lay out the results of the investigation, which included more than 1,000 interviews and more than 140,000 records.
If the public thinks that they know everything, that's not correct.
Denver Riggleman is a former investigator for the committee. CBS News has learned the committee has deployed a series of investigative teams. A gold team focused on Trump's leadership group, a blue team focused on security failures, the delayed military response and police, a purple team on domestic violent extremism and the role of social media, a green team following money trails, and a red team investigating the rioters and their planning.
What I'm excited to see is how the committee puts all these separate sort of threads of the investigation together into one cohesive whole. What they're trying to show is coordination.
Committee members say that coordination, this election was stolen, started at the top. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And of course, you can stay on tap of the Capitol assault hearings live tonight at 8 o'clock on the networks of CBS. Also, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert's response to the highly anticipated hearing is going to have a special episode later tonight at 11:35, immediately after Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock. The search is on this afternoon for 2 children from Berks County who could be in serious danger. Take a look at your screen, y'all. Winston-Salem Police Bureau say 5-year-old Braylon and his sister Alicia were missing. And with that being said, police need your help on finding them right now. New this noon, a massive drug operation being run by Father and Son in Kensington has been shut down. Take a look at the screen. Those items that you see are being seized by authorities. Over 80,000 dosages of heroin were taken. 30 guns and $179,000 was taken in cash. And with that being said, let's hope the crackdown doesn't last too much longer. In all, 23 people are now facing various weapon charges. Also due this noon, 11 animals were being seized from a filthy home in North Philadelphia. And all that happened a long time ago. So please be careful and mindful of this news story, folks. One rabbit was taken along with all the rest of the animals. The time right now is 12:11. Coming up, honoring a legend. And see how Philadelphia is now paying tribute to groundbreaking journalist Trudy Haynes, my aunt who passed away. A show to remember, Coldplay, one of my favorites, is coming to Philadelphia, despite the fact that it has a lot of people talking about them in the first place. We'll be right back. Stay with us.